my channel. So today we are going to be filming a Halloween look, which I am very excited about. I did a poll on Instagram and I asked, would you guys want me to film at least one Halloween tutorial for you by the end of the month before Halloween? Halloween is upon us this weekend and you guys voted yes, so I thought that's what I should do today. I'm going to be using some water activated paints here. These are actually just from Amazon from a couple of years ago, and as you can see I have hit pan, or not hit pan, but I've dug into some of those shades. And then I'm going to be using the Manny Life's a Drag palette. This is like his first version. I know he came out with the second version. This palette is well loved. I do like it for its neutral colors, but then of course we have the pops of color here. I'm going in with a like two-faced skull, kind of like ripping from the face, and then one side being super like glam. So anyways, that's what I have envisioned today. I have done this look before, but I'm just winging it because I've only done this look once before, like I said. So I'm just winging it today. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please don't forget to give it a like, and also please don't forget to hit that bell so you are notified for my next upload. And also do not forget to subscribe to my channel before you end this video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and without further ado, let's get into it. By the way, it's going to be a voiceover because for me to get into the zone and really concentrate, I think it's best for me to do a voiceover. So that's what this video is going to be. So enjoy. Okay, so to start off this look, I am going to be using a liquid eyeliner pen. You can use anything you have, such as like those chalky, thick black pencils that usually like paint kits come with, but here I'm just using an eyeliner since I do not have that, so I improvised. So this is going to be just a rough draft. I'm sketching out the tears of where the mask is going to be ripping off, basically off the other half of my face. So that's what you see me doing here, and nothing's really official. It's just getting kind of like a map, like mapping out the face. And then here you see me mapping out the nose of what I want it to look like, kind of like the size, where I want it. That's why I went with a thin paintbrush. This is actually going to be black, of course, but I went with white because, again, I'm just mapping out and sketching where I want things to be. So here I'm using, again, that tiny little paintbrush. I'm using the water activated paints because, again, I'm just sketching and mapping things out. So you see me here doing the temple, and then as I move on to the cheek area, you will see me in a moment actually remove everything that I sketched out because it's just trial and error. Sometimes you just need more space depending on how much space and the shape of your face you have, so you have to work with it. So I did actually remove everything and wipe everything off because I felt like I just needed more hollow area for the skull and the cheek area. So here I am wiping things off and resketching it. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I wanted to give a tip and a word of advice here is that don't worry so much on your sketch because it is just a sketch. So here you see me just go in with the water activated paints and fill in that hollow of the cheek. I do go in with the water activated paints first and then work with eyeshadow to really give its full like pigment, because the water activated paints can just look streaky and it's not going to give you that full blown color. So you do need to go in with like shadow, or you can use, instead of water based paints, you can use cream. But here I just go ahead and work with water activated paints. That's what I chose to work with, and then with shadow. But like I said, you can do either or. And then here I'm cleaning up the cheek and that black liner because I kind of just move things around. Like I said, I'm really just molding the whole skull cheek area as I go. So here I continue to fill in the cheek with the paint. Here I grabbed a makeup remover wipe and I just went ahead and cleaned up the paint. So I felt like I was going a little too low just by the shape of my face, and it was going too low to the jawline. So here I'm cleaning it up and giving it like its natural wave, like shape. I'm forming it and shaping it according to how I want the skull cheek area to look like. And then I go ahead with the water activated paints and straight up with a paintbrush, and you see me here just molding it the way I want it to look. Okay, so here we're finally going with purple shadow. I'm going in with the Manny MUA Life's a Drag palette, and I'm packing on that purple shadow, but I'm keeping it on the outer edges of that cheek area because we are going to give it dimension. So we are leaving the center of the cheek skull area pretty blank for now, but like I said, we're just focusing it on the outer perimeter of that cheek area. So to give it more dimension, here you see me going in with a pink shadow, and I went a little lower than where I placed initially that purple shadow, and then really packed on some white eyeshadow right in the very center. So you see me that blend, or try to blend it here and give it that dimension like I was talking about earlier. So I kept it with purple at the very outer edge, and then going back in with that pink just a little lower, and then making sure that that white center is pretty bright, so it gives it that nice dimension that I'm looking for. So same thing as the cheek area, I went in with that purple water activated paint. Then I went in with the shadow, a combination of purple and pink, and giving it that dimension. So here you see me filling in that whole temple area and doing the same as I did with the cheek area. So here you are seeing me doing that. Here I'm lining the side cheek skull area, and now that I'm pretty much satisfied with the shape of what it looks like, now I'm just outlining it to give it more definition. I did this with a eyeliner, but again, you can do this with maybe any tiny little paintbrush and use a cream paint because you don't want it looking streaky. To give it more dimension, I went in with some black shadow and keeping it very close to that outline. I'm just giving it the dimension that I want, so I'm staying very close. Here I even transitioned to a little small shader brush, tiny, so that I could really stick to the outline and give it that more shadow definition look. So here you see me do the same thing as I did on the cheek. I'm outlining, or I already outlined the temple area, then I went in with the purple and pinks to give it dimension, going back and forth, and then you see me even I already applied the black shadow on the outer edges. Here I went in with the paint, and it's just a base, so I just went ahead and just kind of give me an idea of what it would look like. So I stopped there, and then I went ahead and did the eye area. I outlined it with a eyeliner, but then I filled it in with the water activated paint. It's just a foundation and something to work off of. I know that I have to put shadow on top, but just think of it like that. It's just a foundation. You do need the paint before going with shadow to really give it that full color and pigment effect. So then here I'm going in with the pink shadow and really giving it that full potential and the color. So I went ahead and started shading there. Here I decided like I wanted to brighten up the eye area, so I went ahead and put some purple shadow on top of that black base. It's just to give it a little bit of something and dimension. And I went ahead and even added some pink in towards the inner part of the eye and the corner to really give it, again, a little bit of color and just some dimension. I wanted to keep it dark, but I knew that I wanted to add a little something to it. So that's what I decided to do there. Now going in with some white shadow, I decided to put that on the very center of my forehead, on that side of the face. And this is giving it more like a contrast. So just really bringing that whole forehead and cheek area forward. So that's what I do here. Also on the cheek, I'm applying the white shadow. Okay, and now we're here to the fun part. So this is my weakness, and it's actually a lot of steady hand work, which I do not have, but I tried my best. So let me try to explain it to you as simple as I can to make it very easy. So you want to create a triangle, almost like a little tiny rectangle, a little square sharp bottom edge, and then make it to a triangle. Almost like you're trying to form a triangle. Let's keep it like that simple. And then you're going to flick your brush upward to give it that root tooth detailing. So you just flick it upward and the direction that your face for. So here I'm going, well, you're seeing my right side of the face, it's my left, but you're right. So we're flicking the tooth right. So whatever direction or whichever side you're masking the teeth to, whatever side you're working on, flick it outward. So that's what I'm doing here, and you see me now doing the bottom teeth. Another thing I wanted to mention is that I did not worry too much on the spacing of the teeth, because I did decide to put some black shadow in between to give it more definition and make it look more, give it like depth. And then here you see me use a little black liner, and I went ahead and lined above the shape of the cheek and also going above the eye area. And you just see me also applying some white to really give it that contrast. I just thought it would look really cool to give it more like contrast and definition by adding some black lines, and then below it, right in the middle center, some white lines. So that's what I'm doing here with a little tiny paintbrush with white paint. And then I even decided, I think, to add it to like the bottom, the bottom, and then I flicker some little tiny splashes on the forehead, which I think at the end you don't really see because I applied some glitter at the end, but here that's what I'm doing. Okay, we're back at the nose. So here I go in with the black paint and just giving it that base before I go in with black shadow. But to best explain how I created this nose is I gave it that round bottom, but also gave it one longer point and one shorter point, almost like a flame. And I go ahead and really work with those 2 points. I was struggling here because, like I said, I was bad with my steady hand. Not having a steady hand, so here I'm filling in that nose area with some shadow, and I even use a little makeup remover wipe to like really clean up that center of those 2 top points of the nose, and then I just use some pink shadow to just clean it up. Then I go ahead and move on to the face. Now we're making the pretty face side look good and glam. So here I'm applying my foundation, concealer, the normal routine, and then here you see me also powder the bottom under eye area because we do not want her to crease, and also applying some powder to the top of the eyelid because we are going to work with some shadows in here just a sec. But first we need to contour, so bronze, blush, and highlight. So that's what we're doing first. Okay, so I am creating a very simple eye with this look, but I just used a nice nude and taupey brown shade, and I wanted to give it that grunge transition look. So I went ahead and blended that out. Then I'm applying the same purple shade we've been using this entire time, and I just applied that to the very outer edge of the eye. And then you will see me in just a sec connect that with the pink that we've been using on the rest of the face. But first we have to make sure that everything's all blended, so I went ahead and went back with that transition shade. And here you see me going with that pink shade that I was just speaking of, and just connecting it to the outer edge and that purple shade. So going back between the two, just making sure that's well blended. Then we went with the Alameda Cosmetics Bronzer Trio. I didn't have a nude, very light shade to work with in the Life's a Drag palette. So here I just applied a little bit just to really brighten up the eye, make it look very awake, not as dead, get it, as the other side. So that's what I did. Then again, making sure that everything's well blended, blending everything out. And then we went in with the same transition shade on the bottom lash line, and then keeping and focusing the outer half portion of the bottom lash line with that purple shade. Here for the lips, we wanted something very long lasting, or me wanted something very long lasting, so I went with the NYX Nude Truffle lip liner, and I went ahead already and apply some mascara. I did some detailing with a little bit of a contrast situation and brightening things up, so I had to for sure go in with a little bit more white lines. I just thought it would look cool and really spice things up. Added some glitter, and that completes the look. I hope you enjoyed. Okay guys, so that completes today's Halloween spooky look for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know what you guys are going to be for Halloween in the comments down below. And don't forget to like this video if you did enjoy, and hopefully it gave you some inspiration for Halloween. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!